So, Mr. Riley, how have you and the family been?
Yeah, really good, mate. Just busy in work, to be honest, which is a good
Eddie's
thing.
living the high life.
Living a high life, mate, and all that. Eddie's away, and
Eddie's away, you're grafting.
I'm earning his coin. Puts me on a repointing job or something when he's away. But no, it's good to be fair, mate.
Yeah.
He looks after me as well. So we're always busy, which is good. And Stefan, the baby, Lily's running ragged like she always does. But no, it's all good, mate. All good.
Right, well, we'll talk about the work situation, right? Because it's a nice full circle, in it, like you're with your best mate at the minute working and stuff.
Mate, that's it.
Yeah, right. So we're going to go into childhood now, and that's where Eddie will step in as well, innit, mate? So
yeah.
Before we get stuck into your rugby story, then Andy, where was home and who lived at home with you as a kid?
Home was Birchfield Road, Widnes, obviously born and bred Widnes, with my mum and dad, and my three brothers, Matt, Paul and Gareth. Yeah, class, loved it to be fair. But they all moved out pretty early, with Matt joining Sale when he was like 17, 18. Paul was in the army, and then Gaz moved out with Louise quite early. So there's me living there till I was about 28, 29, saving all my pennies up till I could move out. But no, it was the best thing I'd done, to be fair. And yeah, mum and dad look after us. So getting your tea on the table when you're walking from work and getting your washing done for you, you can't. But it was a shock to the system when I moved out, I tell you. Learning how to use a washing machine and a microwave. But no, it was good, mate. Home was good, really good. Yeah. I still go there every day, to be fair. So, yeah, they look after us.
Well, that's where you get your big exaggerative wave off me, that, mate, innit?
That's it, mate, yeah. Most mornings. There's Johnny Ed in the
van. So, what was it like living around the park? So, basically, you just had whatever you wanted behind your house, didn't you?
Oh, mate, it was a dream, to be fair. Because the end of the garden, you hopped over the fence and you're in Vicky Park. So, and obviously, Eddie, my best mate, lived next door to me at the time. So, like me, Matt, and an Ed, we just jumped over the fence and away you go. Everything you need: basketball courts, tennis courts, footy, rugby ball. And then after a few hours, you'd always hear my mum shouting, "Andrew, Matthew, your tea's ready." So we just hop back over the fence, go and have our tea quick, and get back in the park. But no, it's class. To be fair, I still go there 2-3 times a week now. The park. It's but for it to be at the end of your garden was just a dream, to be fair.
Well, we'll introduce you into rugby now, mate. So how did that come about for you? With obviously most viewers will have seen your dad and Les's episodes, or your dad is crap. Yeah. So was the Wids the first part of call, mate, or was rugby league the early beckoning for you?
Rugby league to start with. Obviously, I used to have grown up watching like all my brothers play, but we were all rugby league when we were younger. Obviously, my dad was always Union. So, yeah, I don't know why we were all into rugby league. I don't know, but Holton Hornets pretty much from under. Well, obviously Matt played under sevens. I used to go up and watch and wear some of his kit and that. So I was only 5 at the time. So yeah, and then started under sevens with them. Done that for a fair few years, yeah. So
like, was that your own age, Riz, or?
Yeah, well, to be fair, I don't think they'd let me play because I was only small at the time. I wasn't allowed to play till I was 7 anyway. So, yeah, I started under sevens and stayed with them for probably probably played rugby league till I was about 13 or something.
Yeah, mate. So any town team stuff before you headed into high school for you?
Oh, town team. Probably would have been last year, the juniors, I think, wouldn't it? When we were like 11s. Yeah, so I remember having trials for the town team. Got picked for that. I played under 11s town team. And I think I was in under 13s, I'm sure I was. But
do you remember the process of trials and that, mate? How did it work?
I think a long time ago now. I'm sure it was at St John Fisher Primary School, the trials. I'm sure they just had like a load of lads turning up and like 2 games going on. So then they'd pick like a big squad out of that. I don't know how you got, can't remember now. You probably got a letter or your school got told or something. But yeah, I'm sure it was just 2 big games and they just picked out like a big squad kind of thing.
So in rugby league position wise, where would you have been playing, Andy? In the halves?
I used to play when I first started. Yeah, I was standoff for a while, and then I think I might have been centre first, but I played a bit of standoff as well, but mostly centre as I got older. Then, yeah, I don't think I played any full back or anything, but yeah, mostly centre. Yeah, mostly in the centres.
All right. And with you playing all them sports you were on about, so like Vicky Park being basically an extension of your garden.
Yeah, that's
so
it.
you touched on cricket, footy, tennis, anything you could get your hands on. Do you think that enhanced your rugby playing?
Potentially, mate. Yeah. As I say, we had a little dabble in everything. To be fair, I loved the footy when we were younger as well. But whatever sport was on the telly, kind of thing, that's what we'd be doing. So if the tennis was on the telly, we'd go and have a knockabout tennis. But it was always rugby. It was always going to be rugby. Do you know what I mean? But as I say, we did have a few big games of footy, but it's either footy or rugby, isn't it? So, yeah.
How did you find your transition into high school, Andy? Was it something you enjoyed, high school?
Mate, I hate being stuck in a classroom. I'm thick. Do you know what I
mean? Oh, but do you know what? Regardless of that, mate, sometimes the environment just doesn't suit either.
Yeah,
because you are quite sociable when you get to know you.
I didn't mind school, to be fair, but I just honestly bored the death out of me. Sat in a classroom, I can't just sit in a classroom and concentrate. I lose concentration. Do you know what I mean? It's like I just like being out and about. Just do you know what I mean? Hands on, play sports. Just have a message.
You want to go and do it.
Yeah, that's it. It's just it just bores me being sat in a classroom. I can't do it. But no, I enjoyed school, to be fair. Like, yeah, I did like it, to be fair, but just being stuck in the classroom and that. Yeah.
Well, a lot of people, mate, so it's just something I'll fire at you now. A lot of the people I've had on, they'll basically say they used it just as a social gathering, mate. So like the educational side was irrelevant, really. They were with the mates every day. Could that probably resonate with you as well? You got to see your mates every day.
To be fair, mate, yeah, because I don't think I've used my GCSE results once since leaving school, to be fair. But I did look forward to going in and seeing all my mates, and like you talk about your rugby, your footy, and you'd have a big game of footy on your dinner and things like that. You like when you get to year 11, then you're allowed out for your dinner, aren't you? You try and sneak out in year 9. You remember Mr. Hamilton on the door. Get back here now. Let me check the colour of that tie. But yeah. To be fair, yeah, I had a good group of mates, and obviously we're playing rugby and stuff. You know people from all over the place, don't you? So yeah, that was the good thing about it. And when you do leave school, then you miss them mates who you used to see every day, don't you? It's different then, isn't it? Do you know what I mean? You think you're going to be mates for life with people you're in school with, and you're not. You lose touch with them. You meet new mates mostly through rugby, to be fair, isn't it?
Yeah, it opens doors you didn't know existed, and you meet people you would never have met otherwise as well.
Oh, exactly, yeah, exactly, yeah.
So when rugby come about at schools, then, mate, was it just rugby league at school when you went, or is that when you first had a little go at Rugby Union as well?
Yeah, I think when we first went to P&P, I'm sure it was rugby league to start with. And I remember Mr. Buckton tried to introduce us to Rugby Union, and it was just disastrous, you know what I mean? Because no one knew what they were doing. Skaz, remember Skaz? He seemed to get the hang of it. Bucko used to love Skaz, saying he's the most naturally gifted Rugby Union player I've been to this school. But yeah, everyone just played rugby league, didn't they? So Rugby Union was like, what the hell? I still don't even know half the rules now. You know what I mean? There's that many rules. Imagine trying to teach like 20 odd school kids Rugby Union. It's hard, isn't it? But we probably did play more union than league. Thinking about it, I think we only done league. We had a pretty good team, to be fair, but you'd ended up getting like a few footy lads and stuff, a few of the rougher lads from Ditton and all that. Off green. You get a few of them lads playing, and I think they only played because they wanted to scrap. So yeah, a few of them lads played. Some of them are not bad, to be fair, because they're just like rough and ready, aren't they? And get the ball and run, but they didn't know the rules. So yeah, we had a pretty good team, to be fair.
I'm gonna say, so probably a bit like what we'll touch on later with when we managed to play together for a few years at the Wids, mate. Do you think we just played rugby league against Rugby Union schools? Do you think that's how it was, really?
What was that? Sorry, mate.
So do you think you're probably like played more rugby league against rugby union schools, so we were probably your year might have been a bit more flamboyant than the kick and chase and the set piece like school teams.
Yeah, to be fair, mate. Yeah, I say other schools probably just played it from the start, didn't they? Whereas like we were still learning, kind of thing, going through year 7. But yeah, to be fair, I can't remember many teams. I was trying to think of this the other day, like teams we used to play against in school.
So would you have played against Kirk and Grammar?
Yeah, we used to have some tournaments.
St Eddie's.
We had like 10s tournaments and stuff. Some of the big schools. You know what I mean?
No, I didn't do 10s, Andy.
I had a dabble, yeah, but yeah, we did go some like big posh schools, and like teams supposed to come to our school, and I thought, bloody hell, what's this? You know what I mean? But it's come on a bit now, hasn't it? Since 20 years ago.
No, it has, mate. It has come on, yeah. Fair play. So, do you know when you standard of your club rugby at that age then, mate? What was that like, and what sort of teams were you playing against?
What's this, in like the early day, like under
rugby league? So, yeah, so from when you were probably 7 to 13 when you were playing for Alton Hornets, and then they transitioned into Moorfield, didn't we? Like, I'm a few years below you, but everyone followed the same path, didn't they? We all went from Crawwood.
There were some really good teams knocking about, wasn't it? Like St Pat's and Blackbrook and all that. We used to have some good battles against them, like Lee Manor Rangers, Lee East. We used to have some real good, but like Blackbrook were probably the best team knocking about. They used to have some class players. Remember Paul Clough used to play for Saints. He was their prop, and he was absolutely massive. Like, you know, from like early ages kind of thing. But yeah, as I say, we had a good team, but Blackbrook probably the best team knocking about at that age, I reckon.
And when did you start taking rugby serious, if at all?
Oh, mate, I don't take it too serious. You know what I mean?
That's what I'm getting at, really.
Yeah, and I never really have. I suppose like once probably took it a bit more serious when I joined Sedge. Do you know, like, yeah, I enjoy playing, mate. To be fair, and I do take it serious when I'm on the pitch, but you can't overthink it. Do you know what I mean? You just need to enjoy playing, and that's probably when you're at your best. Do you know what I mean?
Like, can't even really ask you out around that, because you've always been pretty relaxed, Andy. So, like, even before the game, you'd be really chilled out, really.
Just chilled, mate. Yeah. That's it, mate. And listen to a bit of music, chill. Don't overthink it. You know you can do it. Just, you know what I mean? Just chill, relax, and that's probably
as a kid then.
Yeah, to be fair, yeah. Just kind of like go with the flow. Probably a bit too relaxed sometimes. Do you know what I mean? But yeah, it works for me. So yeah, I'm just a bit of a last minute man. I'm like a last minute man, bit too laid back. Like my mum, if it's someone's birthday in the family, my mum will be like, "Don't forget Stingy's birthday next week," and I'm like, I literally just like 10 o'clock the night before.
The morning of.
Card, the last minute, yeah. So
they'll be dead expensive in the co-op as well. You'll be paying.
I know, mate. I know. I've got a co-op members card. I'm there every day. It's like my fridge freezer. What we having for tea tonight, love? I'll just nip the co-op. Honestly, I've got a card for that.
Have you? Well, you might as well, mate. It's only down the road, isn't it?
Get 50p off your meal deal, don't you?
That's right.
Save $2.50 a week there, John.
Hey, and the way things are going, mate, it's a good saving.
Oh, mate, ridiculous.
So when at a young age, are you spotting the difference in levels when you're hitting the landmarks, Andy, or it's still a game of rugby to a game of rugby?
Yeah, to be fair, mate. What do you mean as you're getting older, kind of thing?
So when you've started at club level, there'll be a level where everyone's very similar, barring one or two players a team in it. And then when you've hit the town team, did you notice a difference? Yeah,
definitely, yeah. Because you can spot the good players then, do you know what I mean? But as I say, school rugby was just like a bit mismatch kind of thing. So obviously with town team, you're picking out the best players from like all the different teams kind of thing, aren't they? So it was a step up in standard, even at that young age. Do you know what I mean? And you're playing against better. You're playing against better opposition and stuff as well, aren't you? So it ups your game as well, doesn't it?
Yeah.
Do you know what I mean?
And then when you go in flicking between the two codes as well. So when you're playing against these grammar schools that rugby is a subject, whether they say it is or isn't, it is, because they've all got county stuff on and international stuff on.
That's it.
Are you noticing whether it's easy or difficult to go back to the other code? So say you've gone and played Rugby Union for a week or two at school and you've had like a buy in Rugby League. How easy did you ever find it going back to Rugby League?
I found it all right, to be fair. You just got to remember, obviously, what you're playing, but you know what I mean? But mostly if we were playing, we didn't really swap chains kind of thing. If it was like Union, it's stay like that, do you know what I mean? So it wasn't like League for a few games, then Union for a few games, but it was mostly Union in school though, so
it's straightforward for you. So when did Union become a serious option for club rugby for you? What made you change codes at a young age?
It was when I was about 13, I think. Probably year 8, year 9 in school. I kind of just got a bit, I don't know, but maybe a bit bored kind of thing. So I just stopped playing rugby. I remember saying to my mum, I've had enough now, I want to stop playing rugby. Thinking about maybe going footy or something like that. And I was telling people in school, I think it was year 8, I was telling people in school, and a few other lads quit at a similar time, to be fair. So I don't know what was going on. Maybe we just all weren't enjoying it as much or something, but a few lads had joined the Wids. So a few of them said, come up the Wids, come training. So I went up, and I loved it, to be fair. There was loads of lads there, probably 20 odd, 30 lads there. And everyone was like, you know, good lads and all that. So I joined there when I was like 13.
And what were the main differences you spotted in environments and that? So was it more fun? Was it harder to adapt? But bear in mind, you'd already been playing at school, hadn't you? Yeah,
it was just a bit of a change. And obviously, my dad was obviously up there and things like that. I just like the clubhouse as well, because rugby league teams at that age, they don't have like a club kind of thing, do they? A lot of them go back to like a pub or something. But with the Wids, it's just a good facility, isn't it? It's your showers, everyone goes in the clubhouse. Just probably the club played a big part in it, to be fair. With it being a good clubhouse and everything.
So what do you remember about your early games at the Wids then? Because before you've mentioned Sedster, there's a lot of history happened from joining to leaving, mate, and mostly good, isn't it? So what do you remember about them early days as a kid at the Wids?
Oh, definitely. No, it was all good, to be fair. And I started playing standoff, to be fair, when I first went, which obviously been playing centre for in rugby league. Yeah, so I played standoff for ages, and I loved it. We done really well, actually. I remember being a Lancashire Cup final under 13s. We beat Preston Grasshoppers away, and then we beat Preston the year later under 14s at West Park. I remember getting beat. I think it might have been under 16s. We lost to Aspel. We always talk about this. We lost to Aspel at Vale-a-Loon. It was against Aspel, and obviously, when I got to 17, then played a bit of Colts, and then I got the call from big Gents near Newhall when I was 17. Then, so there's me saying, no, I want to play Colts still. But I remember it. It was after training one night. It was, and Jed and Newhall? Paul Newhall must have been first team coach at the time. And I think Jed was doing the Colts. So, they just called me in and just said, like, we think you're ready to go first team kind of thing. And I was like, oh, no, I don't think I am yet. And they were like, no, you are. So ever since then, when I turned 17, I started playing first team,
Right. So let's rewind a little bit then. So you win a Lancashire Cup in your first full season.
Yeah.
Without really appreciating the history the club has in that competition, probably, have you?
Not really, no.
So what do you remember anything about the journey to that, or the final itself and anything like that?
I remember the final. I've got a copy of it, and I've seen bits of it loads of times, I don't remember the journey to it. I just remember the actual final. You always remember the finals, don't you?
Yeah.
So, I remember the final because when we used to go around Al Carr's house, who obviously used to play for that team as well, his dad used to stick it on. We had it on a video, and his dad used to stick it on all the time. So I remember quite a lot of the game. Yeah, it's nice to watch it back though. To be fair, we still talk about it now. So yeah, it's good.
One of the things that people that might not have played or managed to get to that stage of the competition, it's again, like you said, 34 now, 35.
35
and
now.
same group of mates from that team still
That's it.
speak about an under-13s game, and that's what
Honestly,
it's about,
yeah,
Andy. Innit?
That's what it's about. And it's nice to look back on things like that video that we've got. We always stick it on when we go around, and it is nice to look back and talk about it because we all still remember it. You know what I mean? It is good.
No, and so what's the build up to a game like that for as an Andy Riley as a kid?
Well, under 13s there, just about to go in Lancs Cup final. Probably
That's
nervous, to be fair. Probably nervous. I remember it was raining on the day as well, so it was a bit of a wet day. I'd probably got more nervous back in the day than I do now. Do you know what I mean? So yeah, I'd have been nervous.
Would it show itself, Andy? How would that have? Would you have had the shit? Would you have been sick? Would you just gone quiet? What would that do? I'd have
probably just been a bit quiet. I'd have probably just been sat there quiet. Do you know what I mean? But with being a standoff as well, a lot of the play goes through you, doesn't it? Like the kicking, and so I'm probably just worrying about: am I going to miss kicks? Am I going to drop the ball, a missed touch or something? Do you know what I mean? Probably just overthinking it. But you can't help it, can you? Sometimes. Do you know what I mean?
Without knowing it from a young age, there, and then so you've. Back when you were a kid, you probably played the game before you played the game in your head. You've probably gone through every scenario.
That's it. Yeah. That's it. Like I say, it's overthinking. It doesn't do you any good, does it?
No. And then, so do you know when you're playing standoff in rugby league to standoff in rugby union as a kid, do you notice what sport you have more time on the ball with?
You probably have more time in rugby league, don't you? With it obviously being 10 yards back kind of thing, but you don't get an awful lot of time in union either. You don't get an awful lot of time anyway, do you? So, yeah, probably
you play better when you're not having to think, Andy. You can just play what you see.
Yeah, that's it, isn't it?
Yeah.
It's probably better for everyone, that, isn't it? Sometimes you can overthink it trying to run a certain move. Off the cuff probably works. No. Do you know what I mean? Yeah.
When you block from Dean on you in a stack midfield.
I run the same move every time, mate. Dummy scissor pop. And it's just open up. I'd never pop it. I just dummy scissor. Bang. The little dummy scissor pop normally used to do the job.
So when you win that sort of comp at an age, does any regional stuff come about, mate? Was there any Merseyside, any Lancashire for you?
I remember playing Lancashire. I was definitely at the Wids. What age was that now? Might have been under 14s, 15, something like that I played. Right. Don't ask me where it was because I can't remember. I just got this picture at my mum and dad's house in a Lancashire kit, and there was about 8 of us from the Wids all in it. I think it was I'm sure was it in Wales? It could have been in Wales, the game. But I remember I was on the bench. And I only come on the wing for about 20 minutes. So I just remember, I can't remember much about the game, but I remember coming on for about 20 minutes and it was miles away. And I thought, bloody hell. But it was, I'm sure it was only one game as well, you know. Sure it was.
Was it?
Yeah, I'm sure it was.
So you've been in and around as a junior, the Lancashire setup, mate,
Yeah. Yeah.
Right. And was there ever a thought as a kid that I need to play away from the Wids to achieve that?
No, never. No. I love playing for the Wids, yeah. I always wanted to play for the Wids, yeah. That was like, we used to watch, like go up and watch the first team and stuff. We'd all go up and watch that saying like, oh, we want to play this. Do you know what I mean? That was it. Like, we just wanted to play for the first team then, yeah. There was never a thought about going anywhere else, no.
No, not like, even if Lancashire never come about again, you wouldn't have been bothered as a kid, really.
Oh yeah, I'd have played, but they only ever have a couple of games anyway, kind of thing, don't they? But I'd have been interested, obviously, yeah.
Right.
Yeah.
Okay. So then, how does no scout ever at all? Not been scouted, not by Witness.
Never been scouted, mate. No.
Union Cup.
Never. No. Obviously, I stopped playing league. Quite a few lads got like scholarships and stuff, didn't they, for Witness? Yeah. But I think a lot of lads carried on the league. When I went to uni then at 13, No, nothing.
And did that bother you? Was you happy just to?
No, it didn't bother me, to be fair, because I was enjoying my rugby and stuff. So it didn't bother me. But there was quite a lot from the Hornets. Like, remember, like Dale Bloomfield and Adam Kelly and Ozzy, and quite a lot of them lads got signed on scholarship and stuff.
Yeah. Right. No, it's just some kids, as much as it's the ultimate dream, some kids just can't deal with that, Andy, can they?
No, that's it.
They need like that rep badge on to
I
feel
know.
justified, don't they?
That's it. Yeah, that's it. No, I was more than happy. I was with all my mates at the Wids. We loved it. We loved it.
Right. So when the back end of school come, mate, what were your options leaving school? What was you interested in doing?
Well, I wanted to do something in construction, so I signed up for this course at Halton College, multi skills. So it was like you done a term on different trades, so like your bricklaying, your plastering, electrician, things like that. Yeah. So I'd done that, but I was only I think it was a few months into it. I remember doing bricklaying and plastering, and I was on the electrician one then. But while I was doing that, I was working part time at Mackey's, the one in the Asda. Me and Bonham got a job there, didn't we?
All right,
so I was doing that, but I had an interview for an apprenticeship, so I got that with Quick Brick Construction. So I had the interview there. Me and Skaz, actually, it was. So I'll discuss that a bit later. Yeah, I got it first, then Skaz ended up starting. Yeah, but no, so I got an apprenticeship 1 day a week at college and 4 days with them. So I was buzzing. Quit Mackey's, left the college and started that. Yeah.
Where was your 1 day college at? Still at Halton, or?
It was at Halton, yeah, but they had a campus in Runcorn. Do you know the Asmore? Have you heard of the Asmore Industrial Estate?
It's a new build estate now.
Oh, it was a nightmare.
I do.
No, it's still there, yeah. It's like a big bus
off the
lane
bus
running
route.
through it.
Yeah.
It's a nightmare to get to. And I didn't drive at the time because I was young. So I used to have to get this bus. Bloody hell, nightmare. I always get off at the wrong stop because it all looks the same, doesn't it? So there was a few lads from Widnes in there, actually. Remember Ramo, Peter Ramanowski?
Yeah.
He was on my course as well. The cleanest bricky ever. He'd lay a brick and wash his hands. But he ended up giving me a lift home in his kitted up Saxo. So he ended up picking me up and taking me and going mad if he had dirty boots on and that in his clean car. So yeah.
Right Road, that's on, because that's when I done my Plymouth.
What's it called?
Right Road.
Yeah, that's it, innit?
Yeah,
me and Eddie took a wrong turn.
The very last road.
Yeah, me and Eddie took a wrong turn in the van down there because when the old bridge was shut, we went over the new bridge and took a wrong turn. I was like, yeah, I used to go to college round here.
Flashback.
Yeah, proper flashback. Got me wonky pillars.
So, non-existent. So this is when I probably started to realise who Andy Riley was then, mate, because that's when I first met you, I think, when you were on your apprenticeship.
Yeah.
Josie coming done a bit of labouring, didn't he?
Yeah, he did. Yeah, he did.
Yeah.
He did.
So when you're on that then, mate, and you're having to train and stuff, you were super fit anyway, but how did you deal with balancing work and rugby? Was it ever a problem?
No, it was fine, to be fair, especially when I lived at home still. It was fine. I was always like, even after a hard day's work, you'd always be, you know what I mean? You'd be buzzing for training then, because it's like, you enjoy it, even if it's bouncing down with rain. You get to go and have a kickabout with all your mates and that, don't you? Yeah. So it's just when you get a bit older, then probably you start, obviously you got your wife and your kid at home and stuff. Even now though, I'm still buzzing for training. I love it.
You still love it?
Yeah, love it.
No,
love
that's class, that. So, you mentioned before, did you play much Colts before you made your first team debut?
Yeah, I played quite a lot of Colts, to be fair. It was probably towards the end of the season with the Colts. But I remember the Colts still having a few games, I think, when I started playing first team. Because that's why I was saying, well, I'm not ready. I want to carry on. I want to, still play with the Colts kind of thing. Because I'm sure they still had games left.
Did you play Saturdays or Sundays for Colts?
Sundays was Colts. Sundays, because a lot of the time we used to watch the first team, and then we'd play Sunday mornings, over on the Prescott Road pitches.
Yeah. Right. So just for viewers and listeners that might not know the setup, Andy, so senior rugby is classed as from anything from 19 above. So Colts will be under 17s to under 19s, which will play Sundays. And then if you're selected for a first, second, third, fourth, fifth team, etc., you'll play Saturday afternoon, won't you? So you were able to play Saturday afternoons, and if selected, Sunday morning dinner time, weren't you, mate?
That's it.
Back when the body didn't.
Oh, mate, you can do it now,
playing.
can't you? I wouldn't do it now. 2 games in a weekend, imagine
After
that.
the piss up as well.
I know, that's it. You're still in bed.
So do you know when you're playing around the Colts, mate? The lads that you've probably played against at tournaments and Lancashire against Yorkshire or Cheshire or whatever you've done, and then better teams, have them better players stopped playing on a Sunday now? Did you notice, or are they still in and around the clubs they were playing junior rugby at?
I'm not sure, to be honest, mate.
Yeah.
Oh, I'm not sure. I'm not sure, to be honest, mate. I don't know.
Yeah, because you're someone that I've noticed that never really looked at the back of the programmes when we played at home, because you were never asked, was you?
No, that's it.
It just weren't us, was it? So you were playing against
I'm not
them,
sure, to be honest, mate. Yeah.
Right. And how did you find the standard of Colts rugby, considering the levels you played at as a junior?
It wasn't the best, you know what I mean? We did have a good team, and I think we won most games. But some of the teams you played against, we'd be putting like 80, 90 points on them. It's not very often we had like a close game, you know, where you'd have one try in it or something, you'd have a good win. We did have a good team. Like, do you remember Andy White? No.
Yeah.
Back in the day, he was like number 8. He was like fully grown at like 15, 16. Jack Cosgrove was in the centres with Adam Iron. We had a really good team. But the standard wasn't the best.
Where were you playing then?
Position?
Yeah.
I was still standoff then in the Colts.
Was you?
Still standoff, mate. Scrum it on
that.
Luke Canterbury.
Yeah. So what would, say you were given a free licence, Andy, as a standoff, or for people that might not know, fly half in Rugby Union, and you looked up, mate, what was your first port of call? You're an attacking player. Are you going to go and run the ball?
Just get at the line, yeah. Just go forward, get at the line, have a little jink. Do you know what I mean? But we'd always, most of the time, we'd have a little pre-call move anyway. As I say, it was normally just a dummy scissor pop, but there's 3 options off it, isn't there? So obviously the dummy could be on, the little pop, or just a flat pass, or I'll run it out the back. So yeah, everyone knew their lines kind of thing. But yeah, the first thing is just go forward, get at the line. If you get tackled, you just get over and go again, don't you? But
so I remember when we were a lot younger, mate, and we were playing at the Wiz. You used to mention a tournament you played. Yeah, we were younger. So what was this? You used to talk about a tournament that you went and played down south. Did you play against Cipriani or something in a tournament?
Yeah. That was back in the day, that now, John. Yeah, he played for Rosslyn Park, I think. Skaz remembers it better than I do. He always goes on about it. But yeah, I do remember playing against him. We must have only been like 15 or something. And he had a scrummet on. And I remember Skaz always says, remember that lad we played against? That's Danny Cipriani. He's playing for like Wasps or whatever now. But he was good. He was big as well. I think he was like...
That's the age you start seeing the difference then, innit?
Yeah, he was just different class. But I don't remember much about that tournament, but I do remember being there, and I remember Skaz used to always go on about it. But I think he was the only one who kind of like made it that we know about.
Okay. But when you're in and around that, mate, did you ever feel restricted? Did you ever think, like you said, you didn't feel ready to move on from Colts yet? You're banging 60, 70, 80 points on teams.
That's it.
Do you think, looking back, you probably were ready?
Yeah, I probably was.
Weren't quite your mates yet.
It's just, I probably was ready at the time. I was probably just doubting myself. I probably do doubt myself too much, to be honest. Probably need people just to say, like, you are. And do you know what I mean? But once you've had a few games and you get into it, then it's just because like at 17, you're looking at fully grown men, aren't you? Thinking like if they run straight at me now. But I look at people now and say like if you run straight at me now, you'd run over me. That's just people and bigger people, isn't it? In different positions, but yeah, it's going to happen, isn't it? But no, I probably
still
was
have
ready.
that little bit of self-doubt, Andy.
No, not really. No. I probably did when I was younger.
Yeah, right.
Did when I was younger.
Okay.
Probably just doubted myself a little too much.
That never showed when we were around you, though.
No, probably just a lack of confidence sometimes, isn't it?
Yeah.
That's
it is, mate.
Sometimes, yeah.
You can't, like, I used to find myself doing it. You'd look up, because you do in the warm-ups when people are rambling on a little bit, because not everyone buys into that rambling.
No.
And you see someone hitting certain things really well, like he might hit a good line. He might play a nice little out the back pass, and you think he's got a little something in.
That's
so you do look up, don't you? You try and look at who you're going to be in and around opposition-wise. You think, I probably need to let him know I'm here earlier.
That's it.
I need to go at him. Don't you? It is what you do. It's just habit.
Yeah, that's it. It is your confidence sometimes, though. Like if you start the game well, you do a good kick or you do a good pass or good run, you probably have a better game. But if you drop the ball to start with and you miss touch or something, it's in your head then, isn't it? And you think, I'll have to play safe here now. And sometimes it's not good, is it?
No, you can either try too hard or you can underplay, can't you?
Yeah,
You never.
That's it.
Just don't.
You're trying to do something to make up for your errors, kind of thing.
That's it, mate. So, just before we kick on, then with your wid stuff, mate, did you ever feel the pressure of your surname because of the club isn't a big club, is it? And the name's pretty dominant in recent history, isn't it? Let's not be around the bush. Your dad's been there and done it all with us. Did you ever feel any like pressure with the attachment to your dad?
No, not pressure. Not so much pressure. You know, no, not so much pressure. All you can do is your best. You know what I mean, and train hard and play as best you can, kind of thing. But like you said, my dad's been there forever, hasn't he? And everyone knows him, and everyone knows. Like you walking around the club, and everyone knows me, then kind of thing. Because you cracks, lad. Do you know what I mean? But all you can do is train hard.
Like you Conor McGregor, that's how to do with your cracks, lad.
What's that?
It's because you walk around like Conor McGregor, not because you cracks, lad.
The swag walk.
With your sedge hoodie on and that.
I know. No,
but
good,
it's a legit question, isn't it, mate? Because like you've come in and you can tell O'Reilly's entered the room, can't you? Because you don't play here anymore, or because you're doing as well as you've been doing. You do draw the attention, don't you? And it's not that you crave it or you go and seek it. It just happens, Andy. There's nothing you can do about it.
No, that's it. But it's nice to go back the wids, to be fair, mate. I don't go as much as I should probably, but yeah, we go up there for like a drink now and again, and it's good to see. It's good to see everyone's faces and that. Do you know what I mean? You always get the odd person asking, when are you coming back? Do you know what I mean? But it's nice to go back. It's a good club. It's a really good club. And quite a lot of the lads stay up and have a good sing-along and stuff. Don't they? Game of pool and good few drinks and that. I've had a few good nights in there recently. We got shouted at last time we were in there, though, for having the music on too loud, didn't we? Where were we now? We come back from... where have we come back from? Oh, a lot of lads got the minibus to Sedge, didn't need to come and watch. And Mossy filled up all them. Yeah, so we got back. Everyone had quite a few drinks and that. We took the speaker back. Spike was on the decks and stuff. So we told us to turn the music down because he was on and stuff. So we turned it down, and then Matt got it cranking outside, like Venga boys and all that. It was like we were all giving it the big one in the car park, and then there was a party next door, like a 21st or something. They all come out like that. Hey! So there was loads of us, and Sharon come out from behind the bar and was like, "Turn that music down." So like we did after like a couple of more minutes. But Matt was blaming me the next day. I was like, "You're the one with the speaker." And he was like, "Was I?" It's like, "You was." So yeah, but I don't think she was too happy. I've not been back since. I have to go back with the Venga boys on, yeah. But no, it's good. We always have a good drink in there, good laugh.
You bypassed the third and second team, mate, straight into the first team.
Straight into the first team.
Did you ever fluctuate, or was it from then on you were always?
No, I was pretty much in the first team from
right.
From 17, yeah, and stayed in it. Well, I was playing. Remember Stu Hussey was 10, so obviously I never played 10 when I first went up. I played a bit on the wing and then a bit of fullback. I played mostly fullback, to be fair.
Right. And then did you ever feel out of place?
No, I didn't. To be fair, I felt like I felt like I'd done all right, and I started goal. I wasn't goal kicking straight away, but after a year or two, I was goal kicking then. It wasn't a bad kicker, but I used to practice quite a lot back in the day because I kicked for the Colts and stuff. So, no, I felt like I slotted in, to be fair, from quite early, yeah.
Always been left peg?
Always left peg, mate. I've got a little nudge on my right foot now, though. I practice now and again. I don't practice over the sticks, but I do a lot of kicking out of hand and stuff. Yeah, I can connect with me right now and again. Not very often, but
that's the thing with the level you're at now, mate. And that's when things changed. Plus, the levels you went up weren't 1 or 2, was it? It was
no, it was
4 levels, wasn't it?
Probably 4 levels,
it's a
mate.
big change.
Yeah, it was a big change. Yeah, it was a big
so,
change.
When you were going back to the Colts when you played first team, was it like everyone was like, "Oh my God, what's it like?" Or was no one asked?
I think once I started playing first team, I don't think I carried on for the Colts kind of thing.
Right.
Yeah, but people were asking like, "What's it like?" and stuff, and it is. Don't get me wrong, Colts is like there's a lot of contact in Colts, isn't there? Because they're all like young lads. But if anything, I probably found it a bit easier because some of the fellas you're playing against are a lot older, aren't they? So they're not as quick as like a Colts team. So yeah, I preferred it, to be honest.
The only thing I'd say is though, probably when they did get a grip, they let you know about it.
Oh yeah, I tell you that, yeah.
Yeah.
They'd leave a little shot on you when they did get hold of you. Dancing round.
Yeah. But that's it, like when we were coming through, mate, that's when like the raking in rucks was like encouraged, really, mate. If you're on the ball defensively, you're gonna get it.
You just have to curl up in a ball and put the ball back and hope for the best, wouldn't you?
That's it. Yeah, no, it was
just
a bit of a lottery. So when did you game? Yeah, well, you can say that.
Just about.
Can't say.
You look for the contact, you.
Because I can't fast, I can't go anywhere.
Oh yeah.
So when did you notice your game elevate, Andy? When did you start feeling when every week was a really good week? I don't think I've ever seen you play below an 8.5. Or did you not even notice it?
Probably didn't notice, to be fair. Yeah, I don't know. Probably didn't notice it, to be fair.
Right. Because you were winning awards, mate, from a young age, first team level. You were player of the year a couple of times, was it? Young player of the year.
I think I got young player. It might have been first or second year or something.
Right.
And I think on me last year there, I might have got player of the year or player's player. Can't remember which one. Yeah. But it was that when we won that final. I'm sure that was me last year. It might have been 2013. I'd have been like 24, 25 then. I'm sure I got one then, yeah.
When you're in that environment, mate, and we were always in and around until we actually got promoted, weren't we? We were like, I know we went for a couple of kicks each off the halfway at Kirby Lonsdale and we both missed it. When we narrowly got beat. We were always in and around it, mate, weren't we?
Yeah, we were.
So was there ever a time you looked for a move, or was you happy where you was?
No, I
thought you were sport too. Was you all right where you was?
I was honestly, I'd never been asked about anything until I was 25, kind of thing. Yeah, so I loved it at the Wids, loved it. As I say, I was 25 when I first got in touch. So no, but I was more than happy at the Wids, more than happy. To be about
didn't come about. Yeah, that's
So what,
it, mate.
sorry?
And it's
Tuesday, Thursday,
so to be,
Saturday, free play vouchers.
that's it,
You know what I
mate.
mean?
Yeah, and we were always saying, weren't we, after the free pint.
And we
But would
won
you have
lots
not
as well,
seen
didn't
the
we?
move?
No, never.
No,
No.
regardless of the fact that the Lancashire door was shut if you were playing at that level.
No, honestly, I was more than happy playing for the Wids. You're surrounded by your mates, aren't you? You're stopping up the club every Saturday night, having your beers and all that. So yeah, life was good.
We had some
No
big
complaint.
games, mate, and more often than not, you were in the top 3 performers. So you never looked like you got bored, but it was almost like a guarantee that you'd turn up and perform. Like the back 3 before winner come with you, Kevin Smigger, was like unplayable.
Yeah, it was good linking up with them, to be fair, because like Smigger and Leddy, just ridiculous. Rapid. They both could have played higher levels, couldn't they?
Yeah, yeah.
You know, Smigger probably did in the end, didn't he? When he moved.
Yeah,
Or
and
was
he's
it
played
similar?
some good
Yeah.
levels, yeah, hasn't he, all over the world, Matt. But no, it's just it's mad to think that's like the ability you've got that you'd have, it's not mad, it's nice that you'd have been happily playing for your own town club, the club you've grew up at, that you've achieved really good things at. You'd have if no one had said anything, you'd have stayed there. Even though your
100%.
ability warranted a bigger move.
100%. I would have, yeah.
Yeah.
100%.
Yeah. So let's talk about a few of them big games then, mate. So we chat about the what were they called? The playoff games. Because we used to finish second, didn't we?
Yeah.
How were you on the build up to that playoff games?
I remember the Kirby Lonsdale one. Because
Yeah.
I remember them kicks he was on about then, yeah.
We only missed slightly, but we lost by a point,
I
didn't we,
know.
mate? Weren't nice.
I remember having the last one of the game.
Yeah.
The last
Well,
kick
it
of
was
the game.
it was further out than mine, yours though, and I still missed. So
Yeah.
like,
But they got a lot of people going to watch there, didn't they? It was like all the farmers from round there and stuff. But yeah, I can't really remember.
Few South Africans, them, didn't they?
Yeah, they had a good team, didn't they? Still not a bad team now, are they? But yeah, I can't remember the build up to it or nothing. I just remember like flashbacks kind of thing from it. Like I remember bits from the game, but I don't remember the build up and anything like that.
Yeah, because you were never phased, mate. If a bomb come up, you were underneath it, and
I was trying my best.
That 15 was to be run, you were running it, weren't you? Nothing ever really phased you.
I didn't used to kick a lot. To be fair, I used to like having a little run with it, but I kick it a little bit now when I get tired. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Knocking on a bit now. If I'm panting, I'll have a big left foot spiral down the side of the pitch.
None of us have got hope if you're panting, mate.
I can't remember who else. Who else did we play in the playoffs? Was it? I remember the Kirby Lonsdale away.
We had Kirby Lonsdale, didn't we?
Yeah.
We lost another one as well. There was a year when we went away to Wilmslow and got beaten. That cost us a playoff spot. Was you still with us then?
Can't remember. I might have been. Yeah, I might have been.
Right, so what games stand out to you? What are the ones you remember and like have a good giggle at?
Well, for the Wids, you mean?
Yeah.
I can't remember, to be fair. I remember having there was a game that stands out. What was it now? A big scrap. You might have been playing in that. The big scrap and stuff. It was some part of Liverpool, was it? Were you playing then?
No, mate, that was De La Salle.
De La Salle all kicked off, and for no reason really. Remember Mark Whitfield got smacked a fair few times, and Skaz used to always joke that I was climbing up the post, hiding on the crossbar. And then
I was on the top of the post, Skaz.
That game stands out though. I remember Wildy playing as well, and in the end, it was kicking off that much. People were running off the sideline, and you just thought, "What are we doing here?" You know what I mean? People running off the sideline, like trying to fight, and then in the end, the coaches come on and said, "Right, that's it." The ref abandoned the game. And for some reason, they made a tunnel, and we walked through the tunnel. One of the lads flattened Wildy, smacked him, and then Wildy fell to the floor. So they said, "Right, coach, go and grab all your stuff quick from the changing rooms, and we'll get on the bus and go." And they were banging on the changing room door and everything. Was it De La Salle? Could be right there. Yeah.
It was Aldershaw.
Aldershaw, yeah, that's it, mate. That's it.
Yeah, Aldershaw.
Yeah, they were banging on the changing room door, so we all just grabbed our stuff and left. That was it. But I remember our Matt had to drive. I think he was watching our Matt. He had to drive Matt Whitfield's car, drive him to the hospital and that because he'd done his jaw, didn't he?
Yeah,
That was just
his
like
jaw,
that. I
didn't
always
he?
remember that game. And what games I do remember is the Isle of Man ones. Used to
Yeah.
love them.
Yeah, we had a good couple of times over there.
I remember someone nailing a touchline conversion for the win.
You scored that trick though, didn't you, that game?
I did, mate. Yeah, I did. I got a trick.
You tended to do really well over there.
Yeah. You the time was up, wasn't it though? And I think we were drawing or something. And we had a touchline kick.
Yeah.
And we were all stood there waiting for you to kick it. And some of the speckies were giving it the and you nailed it and ran off like that, didn't you?
Yeah. Well, they were abusing me because I'm
good.
a big boy as well.
But it was always a good night there as well, wasn't it?
Was, mate. Yeah, I think the year after we beat them comfy, and I think you and Gaz had a great game.
Yeah.
Well, I think we beat them comfy.
We beat them most times.
We walked back the first year, didn't we? Because
we did.
There was too many in the club, so we walked back the hotel, had a few beers, didn't we? And
was it me, you, apart. Me,
Gav.
You, and Letty or something?
Gav.
Was it? Yeah.
And bottle apart, walked down the hills to the hotel.
Funny.
Yeah.
I was always rooming with Tom Farmer, I think, most of the time when he was there.
Yeah. I remember that. They're good little jaunts, them, aren't they?
Yeah, they are really good, mate. Yeah. Remember Quid's in the bar? A quid in the turnstile to get in. And every drink was a quid, yeah.
Yeah. That's where all the boat races was, weren't they?
Yeah, they were,
bottles and
who was that fella now? The older fella from the Wids who can't remember his name now. It got to him and he just poured a drink on top of his head. And it just dribbled down him. And we were like, what are you doing?
There's someone called Black the committee.
Yeah, someone in the shirt.
Black the committee saying he was from Ware Deacon, and we went to his pub and it was about a 4-man wide pub. There was no one in it. It was like someone's living room. Claimed to went Ware Deacon, and we were all like, where are we?
Oh my God.
The committee befriended some fella in the middle of the road and he said he went Ware Deacon.
Yeah.
So the one game I remember, mate, it weren't a good day for us. It was Stoke at home.
Yeah, played it, yeah. That was probably one of my...
There was a good 400 or 500 people there or something.
You were probably early 20s, weren't you? 21, 22. Yeah.
So I'll tell you how I felt and you pipe up with how you felt, mate. So I think we'd been rested a couple of weeks with Borgie. We got put on the bench for Vale a few weeks before it, which is a game I'd want to play in anyway, because you remember the Vale games were good, weren't they?
Yeah,
we didn't play against Wigan. They sent a second team. And then the couple of weeks before it, our committee fellas went to watch him and filmed him. Do you remember that? And we sat and watched one of the games. We sat and watched one of the games. We come up with this plan because of the way they used to kick off and that.
Right.
And my plan was get under the ball and any means necessary, hit you as quick as I could off a kick off.
Yeah.
And if I'm going to get whacked, take the whack. Just make sure the ball gets to you.
Yeah.
Right. And then I didn't sleep for about a month, mate, because it was big, because they were going to send us Twickenham, get us the day off, get new stash, get the bus down the day before.
Yeah.
They come, played nothing like
the video
we thought they were going to. Yeah. They had a baldy back rower that just ripped us apart.
Yeah.
And I got dragged off at half time with Juzzy.
Serious?
That is what I've been put. Yeah, and I just couldn't get into the game. It was too big an occasion for me at that age. I'd bottled it. Like we said before, where you overthink things.
There wasn't much in it, though.
Both
they battered us, did they?
They did, mate, yeah.
Did they batter us in the end?
Yeah, they battered us, yeah. But I just thought, I can't believe I've waited a month for this game.
Yeah.
And I'm off.
And it's nothing like what you see in the video.
No.
I don't remember much about me, mate.
Yeah, but that's the beauty, because you're that relaxed. I wish I could have been like I would be now back then.
Yeah.
But at least you've managed to deal with that quite early.
Yeah.
The other game is, mate, is the final you mentioned. When we beat Little Breath.
I remember that, mate. Yeah, I remember that.
Yeah.
That tells you.
Talk us through. Yeah. So that's your last big involvement, mate, wasn't it?
It probably was, mate. That was probably the last game, wasn't it? Yeah.
Yeah.
No, I remember that, mate. It was at Tilsley, wasn't it, against Littleborough? And wasn't it a bit of a rainy day? I'm sure it was a bit of a dull day, wasn't it? And they had this 13.
They done a bit of a job on us, didn't they? They like played it dead rough and ready and tight.
Yeah. Well, the 13, Chris Huff, his name was. He was actually involved. He'd done a bit of training with Sedge a few years after that, and we got talking to him, and he was him, because I said, "You look like someone who we played against for Littleborough." And he was like, "Yeah, I was, yeah." So that was the one that was in
Smigglers early, didn't he?
Yeah, he was baldy headed, like cauliflower ears. Yeah. He played a lot of rugby league for like Rochdale and Oldham, I think. And he was in Smigger's ear all game, wasn't he? Because Smigger dropped a high ball to start with. So he was in his ear then. He put Smigger off his game a little bit, didn't he? But I remember we broke. I think I passed it wide to Leddy. Leddy was steaming down the touchline, passed it back inside to me. And we scored quite early. So it was a pretty tight game, I'm sure. It was like 99 or something like that. Did they kick a few pens?
Really tight. Yeah. He dropped the goal early, I remember that.
They did. It probably him, that Chris Huff, rugby leaguer.
Yeah, I think he did, yeah.
And it was pretty nip and tuck. And then I remember Phil Glover scored, didn't he? I'm sure Phil Glover scored. And then towards the end, Leddy scored in the corner. So he must have got 2 kicks. Leddy was probably kicking at the time, wasn't he? Or was it you?
No, it'd have been Kev, yeah.
Yeah, so...
We got jibbed after missing them kicks.
You sacked.
Both of us.
I don't want it anyway. It was something like 19-9. I don't think they scored. I'm sure they got the drop goal and a couple of pens, didn't they? But I remember
they just,
that.
Strangled us, didn't they? They tried to just suffocate us.
Yeah. No, but it was a good day, that, mate. So it was nice to get the big trophy and medals and stuff, wasn't it? And it was the first one, wasn't it? The first one the club have had in so long or something.
Yeah, because the thing is about that trophy, we broke it, didn't we?
We broke it.
So I'm sure Mossy dropped it, and the men on the top like snap. But do you know a fact about that trophy? It's the old original Challenge Cup trophy.
Is it?
Yeah. So it's really important.
All right. There's Mossy throwing on the ball. Oh God.
But yeah, so it's not a bad way to sign off, mate. But while you were playing with us, you and your mate set up like a Sunday league team, didn't you? Or did your mates and you just went and played?
No, we did. So basically, we were probably 20, 21 at the time, I reckon. And we used to play 5-a-side at Bankfield School there. And turned up loads of us were interested in playing, loads turning up. And in the end, Skaz, he said, I'll try and get us sponsors and get us a kit and we'll play 11-a-side and get us into a league and all this. And we were just like, yeah, whatever, sound. And then he done it. He got sponsors off the corner house and everything. We got night kits, like a home and away kit, sponsored by Corner House. And he entered us into a Sunday league, or like a Warrington league. So we had about 20 of us all playing. So Skaz set it all up, and Skaz was like player manager kind of thing. He was loving it. Or he was like Rafa or something, turning up with his notepad, right?
What he managed in real life.
Yeah, Sondico bibs on and that. But no, honestly though, we had Darbo playing. Me and Darbo were strikers. Eddie, big Eddie Bate, played on the wing and stuff. We had a good team. I remember the first game was at on where the Frank Marler is now, the old ICI. We played on there and we beat a team from Warrington, something like 9-1. I think Darbo got 5 goals and I got 4. And this fella said to me after the game, how long have you been playing? I said, my first ever game, this mate. And he was like, your first ever game? You've just got 4 goals past me. He was a centre back. I just kept nudging it round him, running round and banging him in. I must have missed about 10 chances though. I was like Torres back in his day, mate, for Liverpool. Miss a load before you score. But yeah, I used to play that. I played it for years, to be honest. I used to play for the Wids on a Saturday and then go out on a drink more Saturdays, get in about 3-4 in the morning. And that'd always kick off at 11. So you'd always have to be there for 9:30, 10. It depends if you're playing at home or away. But we had a good laugh. And we had a pretty good team as well. And obviously it's not the best, is it, Sunday League? But Skaz took it too serious in the end. He was trying to sign players on and everything. But
That's
no,
what I remember. It got a bit proper, didn't it? And it
yeah,
sucked
it
the
was a
fun
bit
out a
serious
bit
for
for
me.
you.
Yeah, and to be honest, mate, as I'm getting a bit older as well, it's my whole weekend taken up playing rugby Saturday and then footy on a Sunday when you're hungover. And if the weather's nice as well, you're playing at like 11 o'clock for a couple of hours. Your day's half gone, isn't it? So
Yeah.
I probably stopped playing. I probably started playing when I was 2021. Probably give it a couple of years. Probably stopped playing after 2-3 seasons, I reckon. But yeah, they ended up with a good team in the end. Scaz drafting in players from everywhere. Do you know what I mean? But I think Darbo. I don't know if they're still going now. I think, but Darbo's in charge now. Yeah, I'm sure they are. It's like the likes of like Carl McGreevy, Quayle, Sweetie, and all them lot. I think John Matthews and stuff. Yeah.
Well, that's done well then, really, because it was just like a jokey concept from you, just to have a
It
catch
was,
up and a little kickabout, wasn't it?
yeah, that's it. It was really good how we done it. To be fair, he got us all tracksuits and everything, so we looked the part. We had home and away kits. He bought like a bag of balls and stuff, bibs, cones. We used to train once a week on a Wednesday, I think. Yeah, it was really good. He put 100% into it, Scars. We done really well, to be fair. We didn't think, we just thought nothing of it. We were like, you know what? It's a game of footy on a Sunday morning. If you can do it, do it. So yeah, we loved it. Scars loved it as well. He probably got into it.
Yeah, no, I do remember using that saying you were playing and stuff.
Yeah,
so how did the approach from Sedge come? Was it through Matt, or was Matt just a little go-to between a coach and you, maybe?
Could have been, yeah. I remember being at Steph's. This was before we bought the house, so I used to stay at Steph's quite a lot. And I had a phone call one night, just in the week, saying it was Dave Peake, the Sedgley Park coach at the time, and he said like he'd seen me play and stuff. He's seen me play a few times. I'll be interested in playing, shorting a few players for a semi-final game in the Lancashire Cup. Would you be interested in playing? So obviously I was like, yeah, definitely. So I hadn't even trained. So he must have realised I was short in the week kind of thing. But normally, it might have been the end of the season, so he had a few lads away or whatever, but give me a chance anyway. So it was Filed away against Filed, and we beat them. I scored a try, actually. So we was into the final a week later against Preston. Sean Long was playing for Preston, and we got beat by him. Yeah, that was at Filed as well. Sean Long ran the show. We couldn't touch him. So they ended up winning that. But yeah, I played them 2 games, and they said, like, come training in the summer. So I was thinking, well, do you know what? I'll give it a go. Do you know what I mean? So I remember saying to Tank, the Wids coach at the time, listen, I'm going to give Sedgley a go. I'm going to have a season up there, see what happens. So, yeah, I was training. Yeah, so I played. That was in National 1 at the time. Didn't go too good that season, to be fair. We got relegated that year. So since then, we was in National 2 then. Yeah.
And put you off the one, do you know?
No, it didn't, to be fair. I felt like I'd done all right. I started playing on the wing, like mixed between wing and fullback, to be fair. But yeah, I played most games. I don't know. I think I went away on holiday before the season started, so I was in the second team for the first game, and then since then I was in the first team pretty much all season starting. So no, I felt like I'd done all right. Scored a few tries and stuff. So
He's for your 4 tokens instead of 2 or 3.
That's it, mate. Yeah, you get double tokens. He said, what tokens are you on the Wids? I said 3 if you train and play. But he said, we'll give you 5 tokens. So I signed the contract, mate.
So, my mate won't play, but have you got any side of tokens?
That's it, mate. Yeah, that's it.
So, with your first game being in a semi-final, mate, how was it? Because you don't know anyone really other than through Matt, do you?
No, that's it. And Matt
not mean to keep bringing him up. Yeah,
Matt wasn't playing at the time. I don't know if he was away or something, but no, it was a bit awkward, I suppose, because everyone knows each other. You're turning up, kind of like introducing yourself just before the semi-final. Yeah, I was a bit nervous, to be fair. But once you get playing, then you sound. And plus,
no better way to introduce yourself than
I
scoring,
trained
mate,
that
is
week.
there?
Yeah, I trained that week after that then. And you know what rugby's like? You get to know each other straight away anyway. Don't you? It only takes a few sessions or whatever. And you feel like you know them anyway. But I'd been to watch them loads anyway, so I kind of knew everyone, but they didn't know me, kind of thing.
And are you vindicated early by playing in a final in your second game? Do you feel like this is where I need to be now because I want to be playing in these games?
Yeah, I loved it. I couldn't believe it, to be honest. I was like, I was buzzing. Like I couldn't stop thinking about it. And at the time, I wasn't that bothered that we got beat, kind of thing, because it was just nice to be playing in a game like that.
Be there.
Yeah. I loved it, honestly. Buzzing.
And then again, you're seeing that rising standards again. Is every tackle like a competitive tackle? Every breakdown a competition? Every kick in the air, are you getting competition in the air?
There's literally, there's no time to switch off. Literally, like you've just got to. It's just 80 minutes of pure graft, because the second you switch off, teams are just gonna. Do you know what I mean? You've just got to be on the ball, mate. Even like out wide, like especially as a back three, you've got to work hard. When you get tackled, you've got to work hard on the ground, because if not, the 7 or the 13, whatever, will be over you, and you'll lose the ball. Yeah. Even like chasing kicks, things like that. You just got to be on the ball. You can't switch off. You've just got to focus like all the time, because like it's a big step up kind of thing, and there's a lot of good players in that league. So you've just got to be on the ball.
Real change as well, Andy. That 50-22, keep you on your toes as well, won't it?
Oh, definitely.
It's just about spatial awareness.
It's hard, because sometimes you can't drop, especially off a midfield scrum, because they'll have a 15 and a 10 either side of the scrum kind of thing, and you're like, well, both. He's a left footer, he's a right footer, so they could ping each corner here, and we don't want to drop 2 men kind of thing, because they'll just run it then, because they'll have an overlap. So sometimes you've got to just try and start in the middle and just try and pick a side. Like as soon as the scrum half passes it, it's hard to cover it sometimes. Yeah. It's like impossible. If the kick's bang on the money, you literally can't get there sometimes. Yeah, it's a good. I like the rule on me. It's good.
Yeah, no, it is. So what would you do, Riz? Would you offer them a straight channel down the middle of the field? You play one side of the field, let the other winger fill that half of the field?
Yeah, to be fair, we kind of split. So, like, probably 10, 15 yards.
Rather than play down the middle third, wouldn't you?
Yeah. But obviously, don't try and not let them find grass. Try and catch it on the full. Do you know what I mean? Because you can't trust the bounce. But, we normally keep our 10 back. So we'll have, like, 15 and 10 back and have both wingers up. But it's pretty hard to cover everywhere. Do you know what I mean?
No, I was going to say, like, I'm picturing, like you said, the midfield scrum now, and say we had a Phil Glover on the right side and Strumming on the left side, or even a Snicker on the right side.
Yeah.
All I'd have to think is probably they would basically, where you sent your stand-off back, so that would be that Steve Collins, won't it?
Yeah.
He's got a good boot on him. So say Steve drops back with you, your wingers are up, you'd have to just fill the corners, wouldn't you? And then if he goes down the middle, so be it. But you'd have to,
that's in open play, we'll have 2 back, but off a midfield scrum, kind of just like, it's hard sometimes. Probably put one winger to just be half and half kind of thing, and I'd be more on the other side. But in open play, we always have 2 back, and both wingers flat. Yeah,
you're asking for your man to cause him a bit of hassle there, really, aren't you, at the scruff? You want him to be a pest, don't you?
It's hard. So midfield scrum's all about that sometimes, because with the right kick, they're 50-22, and the next minute they're in your 22, and everyone's moaning at you because you're the fullback. You can't cover everywhere.
No, it's just the life of the 15, isn't it? So,
rough with the smooth.
What was your next goal once you'd signed for them? Was Lancashire a goal of yours, or did it just come and you took it?
Not really, no. Lancashire was, when did I do Lancashire now? I think my first year at Sedge, I'd been asked to do like a Lancashire Sevens tournament. So I'd done that. That was at Broughton Park. Obviously, with it being Sevens, I was playing prop kind of thing. I was in the scrum. Obviously, it was only a quick scrum, 3-man scrum and all that. I had tape round the head and all that. So I actually didn't get it was weird because I didn't get a lot of ball, because by the time you're in a scrum and someone feeds it in and you've got like 3 men there, most of the time they'd run and score. Do you know what I mean? Yeah. So I remember I scored 1 try in like loads of games. So I didn't get like an awful lot of ball. So yeah.
Some stash though.
Oh, I got a bit of stash, mate. Yeah, I met Jason Robinson as well. He was there promoting, do you know, the skins, like the Under Armour stuff, pro skins or whatever. He was in this little marquee thing, so I remember getting me pictures up with him. That was a good day out. It was red hot as well. I don't think we won it, but we done pretty well in it. And then my second year at Sedge, then that's when I got picked for Lancashire and played for them. Yeah, we had 3 games. We had 3 games, won them all, and the final was at Twickenham. So I started all them 3 games, and then I got put on the bench for the Twickenham game, which I didn't really understand, but it's one of them, isn't it? Yeah. So I was on the bench, and I come on for the last 15 minutes.
Right.
But the winger,
did you get a flashback of that kid years ago when you felt like you got a little 20 minutes on the wing, or?
Yeah, a little bit. It just reminded me a little bit of that, like was on about that Lancashire game. Yeah, you just remember things like that, don't you? And obviously, yeah. No, I just didn't see it coming. To be fair, you start 3 games and then you play the final at Twickenham, and then you get put on the bench. You come on for 15, 20 minutes. We won that day. It was against Cornwall. Yeah, but it was nice. You got like the medal and everything, and you have a good night after it and stuff. It was a top weekend. And my mum and dad were there, and I remember our Paul being there. Our Paul was there, yeah. So it was still a good weekend, but obviously I'd rather have started that game 100%.
No, that's it, you know, and it's like a false promise when you played the 3 group games, isn't it?
That's it,
and then, you'd expect to be a bit of a shoo-in without being rude, wouldn't you? And I would. I know you're not normally like that, but you probably would, wouldn't you?
Yeah, I was just a bit surprised by it. We training was at Preston Grasshoppers that night. I remember being told, I've always remembered it, we're going to start you on the bench this week. Do you know what I mean? You're a bit like...
Privately or in front of people?
No, privately and stuff. But obviously, it's when you walk away, you think, right, bloody hell. You know, you're just a bit shocked at the time. And you walk away and think, well, I probably should have asked why, kind of thing. Do you know what I mean? But
it's like that, mate.
Yeah, it was one of them, mate. Everything happens for a reason, doesn't it? So,
of course it does. What an experience, though.
Oh, yeah, still got to play at Twickenham.
Yeah.
Do you know what I mean? And win. Get a medal. Have a good night. Free ale all night as well. Wore my medal the next day and everything, yeah. I don't know where that medal is, to be honest. Probably in the loft, mate, gathering dust.
Yeah. You should have said that these tokens not count here.
I know. I've got to keep my top as well, which was good.
Yeah.
So I've got my top and stuff with the who we played and the date and everything on it and stuff. So that's a good keepsake thing, yeah.
Yeah.
And
so
after
while we're on that,
yeah, go
sorry,
on.
Mate, go on.
No, I was just going to say, after that, I've never done Lanc since. To be fair, I think I was away. I was away for quite a few of the games and stuff. You know, like after season, then we had plans and stuff. You know, like going away, things like that. So your season, if you've done them 3 Lancs games in the final kind of thing, you don't get rest either. You need to rest after your season. It's a tough all season, and you end up doing Lancs and getting no rest and stuff. So, yeah, you can't just keep going. Do you know what I mean?
Yeah. So, 2 questions really, mate. I'll ask you first one, let you ask your next one. So, when you're invited to like a training camp or whatever they want to call it, mate, how does that come about, and what would happen if you were to say no? Do many people say no?
What, for Lancashire, you mean?
Yeah.
Yeah, no. So you'll get an email kind of thing inviting you to the training camp. So they'll have a big squad to start with. So there might be 30 lads there. Yeah, you can say no kind of thing. Do you know what I mean? You don't have to do it. But
I imagine it'll go down well though.
No, you probably have to have like your good thingies. But yeah, you'd probably get like you'd probably start training like 2 weeks before your first game. They'll always have 3 games, and then the final will always be at Twickenham. So yeah, you'll just have a huge squad training for the first couple of weeks. Then they'll just pick like a 20 squad kind of thing for that game. But then they might have everyone training again the week after, and then pick a squad for that game, because obviously lads might get injured and stuff. Yeah. So.
Right. And again, what's the level like? Does it lift again?
Yeah, I suppose it's more. It's probably a bit more like a barbars game kind of thing. It's more like off the cuff kind of thing, because you've only trained together a few times. Do you know what I mean? Like, you're all lads from like Lancashire's probably like 4 or 5 different clubs kind of thing. So you're all. I suppose you all run similar moves, don't you? But call them different things. So it's kind of like, yeah, it's probably more flowing, to be fair. And like it's the end of the season as well, so it's always nice weather. So it's probably a bit like summer rugby. Do you know what I mean? It's like the games are at the end of your season, like May to like this time now. The weather's getting better and stuff. But yeah, you do play against some decent like Yorkshire, Cheshire teams like that, like lads from Sale FC, like Caldy and stuff for
stuff like that.
Yeah, it is a good standard. Yeah.
Right. And stash wise, so memorabilia, mate, is it something you've kept right through growing up? So have you got a scrapbook with paper clippings? Have you kept?
Do you know what, mate?
Lancashire jerseys and stuff.
I'll have to show you my scrapbook. Yeah, well, I used to keep a scrapbook when I first started playing for the Wids. I remember getting the weekly news. My mum used to get the weekly news all the time, and I've got a million cutouts, mate, in this scrapbook. It got that full in the end. Even like when I started playing for Sedge, I used to get they have a local paper called the Berry Times. So there was always a write, like obviously like the weekly news, they always had a big write-up on the back pages. But I've got a huge scrapbook upstairs, but I've stopped doing it, to be fair, for the last 6-7 years. I've stopped doing it because there was just loads in there kind of thing. But it's nice to look back on. Like, I was sorting some of Lily's old clothes out in the loft the other day, and I bumped into it. So I just sat in the loft having a little look through it. And it starts from probably like under 13s, 14. Honestly, I'll have to show you one time. Because it's got some good stuff in there. Yeah, some old write-ups from the Wids first team back in the day and stuff, yeah. It's nice to look back on it, to be fair.
Yeah, of course it is. And that's why, like, I've invited you to do this a few times. Because I only know a certain... No, I have, but I only know a certain part of what you've done.
Yeah.
And I know you to a certain degree as well. Like, you're a great lad, but it's nice to say what you was before I met you. And how you're doing since we played together.
Yeah.
Because like I said, I'd give you the big exaggerated wave, don't I? All the big fun like that out the window.
I love it.
Yeah, but it's just a passing by thing.
I know.
Lives have took us different ways, isn't it? So
I know.
And jerseys, what jerseys have you managed to keep? Have you kept like a Sedge one, or are they a bit?
I've got a few. We have I'd say I got a Lancashire one. That was probably like one of the first ones I got to keep. And then with Sedge, 3 times a year, they have a charity day, which is like
that, mate.
Yeah, so you get like it's an actual league game, but it's a charity day. But you get like so there'll be a breast cancer day, and your kit will be pink and white, and you'll have your name and number on the back of your top. So you'll have all individual sponsors on the front of your shirts. So we get to keep most all them kind of thing. So I must have a bag of about, bloody hell, 3 times 10, something like that. About I must have I don't know, probably 25 tops, I reckon. All different ones.
Like that concept, mate. When you do that, I like that.
Oh, it's top, mate. Honestly, we always play well when we have a charity day. We always say that. Because you're turning up, you've got fresh, brand new socks in the packets, brand new shorts, still got bloody need an iron running over them. You've all got your shirt. Everyone's taking pictures of the shirts because it's got your name and number on the back. But you've got to play well in a fancy kit like that, haven't you? But we've had some belters, over the past. Really nice ones, and they're always like a nice fitted top. But yeah, I've got a big bag upstairs full of them. I remember giving Jackson loves them, our Matt's lad.
Oh, yeah.
He loves them, so they're that tight these days. The tops, they fit him. So I think I've given one, and Matt's given him a few. He loves them, like.
Yeah.
I've got to keep all them. That's it, really. And to be fair, mate, last game of the season for Sedge, I said to Jeff, like the manager, I said, "Are we keeping our tops or what, Jeff?" And he goes, "Go on, keep them." So we were all like, "Yeah." So I've kept me full kit, me shorts, me socks, me top, everything. So that's a good little keepsake. But I don't really do anything with them. I just bag them up and keep them in a bag. But it's nice to look back on and know I've got them.
Yeah. Well, he's a bit older, mate.
That's it, mate.
What's this, that, isn't it? And
that's it.
That's what it's
it
about,
all makes
mate.
a story, doesn't it?
Yeah. So, a couple more before drag you through a few daft questions, and that is, how is it when you finally get over that hurdle? Because, like, I've seen on the socials and that, you've been knocking on the door for a while, haven't you? So you've just missed out. And is it a bit of more of a relief than a big celebration that you've achieved what the ultimate goal is at the start of every year?
Yeah, both, mate, to be fair, yeah. As I say, since we come down, my first year was National 1 and we come down to National 2 North then. And we've always done well in it. We've always been probably top 4, I reckon, over the past like 8-9 years. We finished second 2016 it was. So at the time it was just National 2 North and National 2 South. So top 1 from each of them go up. And the second from North and South play off. And whoever had the most points, that's where it was. So that, like, when we finished second in 2016, it was China. It was first Old Albanians was the first. So we went there and we lost, not by much, but they had, remember Max Malins for the Saracens in England now. He was on loan at Old Albanians at the time. So we got 2 tries for them. Kicked some penalties, got some goals. He more or less won in the game. So we lost that game. So we were gutted about that, obviously. The next year, I can't remember where we finished, probably 3rd or 4th. 2018, we finished second again. Like, right, play off again. So we nearly had more points than China, but it just so happened they got more points than us, so we had to go to London again. We lost to them. We were never really in the game. They were like bigger, just bigger and better than us kind of thing. We never really looked like winning it. So we got beat to them. And then we finished second last season. I actually had a year, when 2019, he had a year out when found out Steph was pregnant. So I had a year off then to spend time with Steph and the baby, which was nice. And to be fair, I didn't plan on going back kind of thing. I didn't know. I just wanted to have a little bit of time off. And then I signed back on with Sedge the year after, but it never happened with COVID. And then last season was my first one back, and we finished second. Hull finished first, but for some reason there was no playoff, which we were gutted about because I think it was a knock-on effect from Ealing, Championship.
Oh yeah.
Because I think they couldn't go up to the Prem for some reason because of the attendance, the crowd and stuff. Yeah. So we had. But towards the end of the season, we played Hull away as well. And if we'd have beat them, we'd have skipped above them. And we lost the game by probably a point or 2. But we had like 2 lineouts on their line right near the end of the game as well. And you think we're going to get over there now. And it just didn't quite happen. So you're thinking like, well, the last like 5-6 years, we finished second 3 times here. Nearly won it. Is it going to happen? And loads of us have been together for probably like since I joined 10 years ago. There's been loads of us together, like stayed there for years, and you think this group of lads like need to win it together now because they've all been here for years. So this year just felt a bit different. Felt like because we were second last year on paper, we're the best team in that league.
Yeah,
so
that's a good point.
We had a really good. So we're like everyone's coming for us. We're everyone's cup final. Everyone wants to beat us because. So we went. We played quite a few pre-season friendlies. We battered everyone, to be fair, and it just felt different. It felt like everyone, like first team, second team, everyone was everyone in the second team was probably capable of playing first team, kind of thing. So we had a class big squad. We went really well. We were like pretty much unbeaten all season, and then it was a big game against Fylde away. We drew, loads of I think we had a pen or two near the end, and so did Greg Smith. You know Greg Smith, a lad from St Helens, isn't he? Yeah, a really good player. He missed a couple of long range pens, so we ended up drawing with them, which we were a bit gutted about. But we were like, well, we're still unbeaten, but we'll keep going. And the next week we went to Tyndale and Newcastle, mid-table team, pretty good team, though, to be fair, and they beat us. So we were like, we've drew and we've been beat. Next game, next week's massive kind of thing. And we ended up going unbeaten again then. So we drew one and lost one, and that was it, unbeaten.
Actually needed, probably, mate, wasn't it?
We finally done it, mate, yeah. We finally done it. And then a few weeks ago, last home game of the season was Sheffield Tigers. And if we'd have won that game, we win the league, and we put 80 points on them or 70-odd points. Yeah. So everyone was just, do you know what I mean? Yeah, it was unreal.
Yeah.
We didn't get the cup that day and the medals and stuff, but I think they were saving that till the last game. They didn't want to preempt anything, kind of thing. But class, mate, unreal feeling, to be fair, because as I say, like quite a lot of us have been in that team for years. So to do it, like it was just unreal. But worth the wait, do you know what I mean?
Yeah,
worth the wait.
Well, that's what it's about, isn't it? So
yeah.
Do you think they'll be able to? Is anyone on about calling it a day, or are you sticking round and having one good crack at it together again next year?
We're not sure yet. I think a lot of lads are signing on again. A few are 50-50 kind of thing, but they always are. But they always end up signing on. So we're not sure yet, to be honest, mate. I know quite a lot have signed on again, but it'd be nice to give it a good crack. But there's loads of good young lads coming through and stuff now. So but don't get me wrong, we'll give it a shot, won't we? See what happens.
Right. Got it to lose, have you?
No, we've earned it, to be fair, mate. So
yeah, of course
we'll give it a shot. We'll give it a shot.
Another one as well is when we got drawn in the Lancashire Cup, mate. How was that playing against some of your mates?
Oh, it was weird, to be fair. But when was that? What year was that now? It was a while ago, that, wasn't it?
17, yes. No, it was like 14, 15.
2015, 16, something like that, yeah. And it was mad because we probably had a mix between a first team and second team. A few lads playing who were like fringe second team players. Do you know what I mean? We had a bit of a random team. So it wasn't like our first team. And obviously the Wids always got a good team. So like I'm thinking, like looking at the Wids backline, thinking they could cause some damage here. You know what I mean? I had Winner playing, Leddy, Akko was playing, who's obviously Super League now. And I remember, I was a bit nervous, to be honest, because like obviously like we probably didn't have our better team out kind of thing. But it was nice to see it, like to play against the Wids again. I remember Pock B. O'Connor scoring early in the corner. And in the end, I think we won by a fair few tries in the end. But
we took a decent lead, didn't we? And then I think your practice got on top of us, didn't they?
Yeah.
That's where we got found out a bit, without being rude to you. It was like our backlines were more than a competition for you.
Yeah.
But up front, you were just all over us.
Yeah, that's it. As I say, that backline though was class, really. Like Leddy and stuff. Yeah. Welshie. Yeah, like Phil Glover playing, Welshie. Akko was at 10. Probably, was it Lammy or Gavin? Yeah, so they can compete, can't they? But I think there was a few tries in it in the end, but it was nice to play. I remember having a laugh at Phil Glover and that. Welshie ripped me my white underarm on that day. And I remember him grabbing my arm and ripped it. I was like, no, but it was good. I think I scored as well. I remember one of our forwards had the ball near the line and he ended up just throwing it in my belly. I was like, right, there we go. So we scored against the Wids.
We got told to let you know we were there and that. It's mad, but it's mad being told, like, go out and give your mate a dig, innit?
I know.
Like, plus I couldn't get near you to give you the dig anyway, but... Right, mate, so how was it juggling family life and going back?
Yeah, since the baby, you mean?
Yeah.
Yeah, it was tough. Obviously I had to like square it with Steph and stuff first because family's first, isn't it? But it is hard, to be honest, because it's like you work, you play rugby, and you've got a family as well. So I'm only getting in from work at 5:30 some nights, and you've got to be in Manchester for 6:45. So it is hard, yeah. And you're training twice a week, and you could be away in Newcastle. Obviously, it could be London next year, kind of thing. But yeah, so most of your Saturdays are taken up. So it is hard, but like obviously, like Steph's understanding and that, like she knows I've played all my life, kind of thing. And it's not forever, is it? Do you know what I mean? It's like you make up for that time in a few more years. Still life yet, Johnny. Have you know what I mean? Still got a couple of years, hopefully. So
I know.
Got to keep playing.
The other thing is, yeah, well, exactly, mate. You have what's happened to the night boots? You're in Pumas now,
mate. Pumas. Well, yeah, it's so hard to find new boots now. You like them, the black Pumas? Mm-hmm. Yeah, I've cleaned them and everything.
Yeah, the Pumas.
They're lovely, them, aren't they?
Smart. I used
to always be in me Nike Tempos, didn't I?
You was, yeah.
But I was finding it hard to find a pair that I wanted, and a few like the better now the boots. I think like they went through a phase where they were like pink and yellow and orange and everything, and I thought can't find like a nice white pair of boots kind of thing. So I went. I decided I wanted an all black pair. So I went to Sports Direct and bought them. And to be fair, I've not stopped scoring since I've got them. So I think I'll keep them for next season.
Yeah, where's Love of Rugby with the sponsorship?
Black boots take a bit of getting used to, though, to be fair, mate. I've never played in black boots.
But to be honest, when I seen him, I was looking. It's like he's in the Pumas.
Yeah. No, really comfy, though. They're like slippers and they clean up nice as well, mate, because they're black. You know what I mean?
So, yeah, future ambitions then, mate. What is the goal next year? Just to enjoy rugby and see where it takes you?
That's it, mate. Yeah, just take it a year at a time. Obviously go again next year. See what happens. But to be fair, mate, feel good. And hopefully another 2 or 3 more years playing or something. And then you never know after that. Maybe go the Wids or something. You never know.
Listen, it's always there, isn't it?
To be fair, mate, yeah, I actually, when we had that time off, when we had the baby, I actually spoke to Andy Mack about potentially coming back, and I ended up just enjoying a bit of time off. And I thought to myself, and to be fair, it's probably the best decision I ever made after, especially after this season, getting promotion and that. And got me 250th cap as well, which was nice. So without going back for them 2 seasons, I wouldn't have got me 250 cap and with promotion and stuff. So I feel like it was meant to be kind of thing. So
come back. The options have come to Wids is for Lily to see you play, but understanding it, it'd be nice for that. Wouldn't it? Maybe get your dad out of retirement for a game or whatever. And
well, it was nice.
Lily can see the generate.
Was you there?
Boss pictures there. No.
Was you there for the Christmas game at Colts Vets?
No.
Yeah, that was really good, mate.
You all got on, didn't you?
Yeah, that was really good, yeah.
Well, to be honest with you, I don't know if you'll mind me saying now because you've done it, but Matt messaged me a while ago just saying, do you think we could, do you reckon we could get a game together? So we were going to get a friendly this summer anyway.
Yeah.
For you all to play together, but you have managed to do it anyway.
I know.
I love that picture, it's class.
Yeah, really good, mate. We only played about 10-15 minutes.
Doesn't matter, does it?
Yeah, no, to be fair, you're happy just all being on the pitch together, aren't you? Yeah. They got beaten in the end. I think the Colts ended up winning. We were all over them when we couldn't score. I remember Matt doing a crossfield kick from out Whitfield, and he was running out of legs, and he like a yard quicker, he'd have ended up scoring it. But it was good. I think Fields, as I was leaving, because all my mates were in Liverpool that day, so I was like, right, I'll have 10-15 minutes, get a shower. I need to get into Liverpool kind of thing. As I was walking off, I was speaking to Leddy, and Fields, started having a bit of a scrap with someone, I think. So I was like, right, I'm going
about it, yeah.
Colts Vets. So,
conquered home, yeah.
I know.
Right, mate, I've got a few daft questions for you.
Okay, mate.
So, any pre-match superstitions?
Not really. No. I always strap my wrists. I always strap my wrists and I always strap my ankles. I do that myself. Always grab a coffee when I go to Sedge. You always grab a coffee from the outside hut. Have that in the changing rooms, and then probably half hour before kick-off, I'll have a can of Red Bull. Always. And when we go out to do our little individual warm-ups and that, we'll always have a footy first. Always have a kick about with a footy. Just have a little game, have a little laugh, have a little giggle. And we always try and do a bit of no bounce kind of thing. Always try and keep it up 21 times. That's our little thing. And if we do it, we'll win the game. So we've done it pretty all last season. So I reckon that's the key, mate. 21s. No, but it's just a little way of all having a little laugh for 10. Have a little 10 minutes and then get stuck in. Other than that, mate, no, that's it.
So the definition for this next word is different for everybody, mate. So it doesn't have to be someone that'll crack you and knock you out. It can be someone that does the nitty gritty that some people don't realise. But the toughest player you played with and against. So you might not know who you played against, but you might know his position in club. Okay,
probably the toughest player I played with is a lad called Will Lees. He joined Sedge from Preston Grasshoppers maybe 5-6 years ago. He had to retire last year because he had a couple of knocks on the head. But he was a 7 and he was quite small, stocky, but just an animal. He was like, he just hits like a train. He hit a good line. He was just solid. Do you know what I mean? It was one of them plays where you think, I wouldn't want to play against him. So, yeah, as I say, he still comes up the club all the time now and has the pre-match meal. Has a couple of drinks with the lads. He's just had a baby recently and stuff, so he probably gets to spend. Obviously, he'd rather be out with the lads, but he gets to spend time with the missus and baby and stuff. But yeah, so Will Lee's probably the toughest player, mate, and toughest player I played against. It's quite tough, really, isn't it? Because you play against a million people. But there's a lad who plays for Sheffield Tigers, Jamie Broadley. He plays 10 or centre, mostly centre, to be fair. And every time, he's just tough to play against. As in, like, he tackles hard, and like he's just one of them players where, like, he's quite quick as well, stocky.
Yeah,
he's pretty hard to as an attacker. He's pretty hard to get round because he's fast. He'll tackle you. He's back up on his feet. He's over you, getting turnovers and stuff. He's just quite, for me, he always sticks out in my mind that, like, it's quite tough to play against. Yeah, I played against him loads as well because he's played Sheffield Tigers for years. Yeah, he's done England counties and stuff like that. Yeah, really good player.
Well, it shows what he's about, doesn't it? You don't hit them levels, mate. If you're not a good player.
Really tough. Like, you've got to be, like, on your game. Yeah.
Your favourite away ground you played at?
Favourite away ground is probably Wharfdale, which is in Skipton, Yorkshire. It's like a scene off Emmerdale or something. It's got, like, all them little walls everywhere, cows in the fields behind the sticks. It's a lovely setting. Little stand on both sides. Nice clubhouse. We always have a singer on the clubhouse. They get people coming from, like, all over the place. They get a good rowdy crowd banging on the signs and everything. And we always have a good game against them. We mostly win when we go there, but not by much. So it's probably Wharfdale, yeah.
All right, mate. So if you could go back and tell a younger you something from what you've learned so far, what would it be?
Probably just make your most of it. Like, don't take it for granted, kind of thing. Just play as long as you can, and just don't overthink it, kind of thing. Just go with it, and especially, like, when you have a good away win and stuff, and, like, them bus trips and your music on and your beers and things like that. Like, I still think about that all the time. Like, when you just remember it.
Just enjoy it.
And when you stop playing, like, you'll crave for one of them days where you've had a good win with your mates. You'd have a shower, you'd have a beer, you'd have a bit of food, and you get a big long bus trip back with the music on. You can't beat it. I've got videos on my phone from years ago, and you look back at them and think, what a night that. Do you know what I mean? You remember it.
Yeah.
So just to make the most of it and play while you can, because some people don't get that option, do they?
No, mate, no. So you go to karaoke song if you're on the lash with the boys, mate, and the mic hits your hand.
Do you know what? I've never done karaoke in my life, honestly.
Did you have to do an initiation song?
Yeah, I've done that. Well, I can't remember what song now. You have to do. I probably sung a Witness song or something. Give me a W. No, I can't remember. But you've got to do 2 litres of cider on each hand, strapped to your hands. Cider. I remember doing that. No, I've never really do karaoke, mate. I'm always just a bit of a watcher. I always sit back and watch. But if I had to do one, it'd probably be an Oasis song, Wonderwall or something, or everyone can join in. Help me out.
Yeah, that's it. A bailout
Queen,
song.
doesn't he? Tom Farmer could do my one, bit of Queen. Jelly legs, he loves it. No, I'd probably have an Oasis song, to be fair, mate.
Yeah. Right. So you're 1 to 15 that you played alongside.
Right. I was going to do a Sedgley one, and then I'll do a Wids one. Yeah.
That's fine, mate. Yeah.
Right. I'll start.
Where are you starting?
I'll start with my Wids team.
Right.
And I'll start with number 1, the prop.
Yeah.
So I'm gonna go Juzzy, number 1.
Yeah.
He could do it all, really, couldn't he? He was, if he'd have lost a load of weight, he'd have probably been a standoff. Do you know what I mean? He just had he's got feet, he's got hands. He just and he was like hard as nails. Yeah. So yeah, Juzzy number 1. Number 2, Gaz Moss. Because pretty much all the time I played at the Wids, Mossy was always playing. And he just got stuck in, didn't he? He loved his gym and all that. Yeah. Just really good player. Number 3, Sioldo. When I first started playing at the Wids, he was a bit older, so he had loads of experience and everything. So yeah, and he was hard as nails, wasn't he? Copper and all that. Yeah. And he just, I remember he just helped the young lads out a bit and stuff. And he was a good player. Number 4, I've gone for Bomber, just because he was a big long stride. He run the ball well, didn't he? Just dead strong as well. And he was always up there.
Could have played a few levels up, you know.
Yeah, Bomber, really good player, Bomber. Yeah. He just had no fear. He just put his head where it hurts, which I wouldn't do. Number 5, Tom Farmer. I've gone for. Yeah. But I was half thinking Fieldsy as well, but I thought I'll put Farmer because he was an animal back in the day. Farmer. He was like a
similar job.
He was like a different man on the pitch. He loved his judo throws. Remember his judo throw tackles? He was an angry man on the pitch. Yeah. So it was a bit of a no-brainer there, Farmer. But I don't think he ever bought a pair of boots in his life. He was always texting saying, "Hey, have you got any size 10
for
tomorrow?
You need them wearing it. Yeah, you want them new boots wearing it."
Little scruff. 6, I've gone for John Ev, yourself.
Well, serious, I'll take it.
A shame you had to cut your career a bit short due to injuries, but I loved playing with you, John. It was just straight in if there was any. You'd always have the lads back. You know what I mean? You were straight in if anything happened. And as I mentioned before, that you'd done your goal kicking as well. That touchline conversion for the win at Vagabonds, unreal. And I'll never forget that. Number 7, I've gone Kev Farrer because I played from under 13s all up to first team with Kev, and he was just an animal, wasn't he?
Yeah, big lad, mate. Yeah.
Yeah, but I was half thinking Critch as well. Critch was a class player, good 7. But no, I've gone for Kev. Number 8, I've gone for Borgie. He spent most of his time probably stood on the wing, just wanted a little running try, but he was good. He took some stopping, to be fair, mate. He was a strong runner, really good player. For 9, I've not played first team with him, but I've gone for Crack Riley, my dad, because I played with him and it's the Wids. Yeah. So, yeah, I've grew up watching my dad, and obviously, what he's done with the Wids and stuff has been unreal. And to get to play with him as well, it was special. Do you know what I mean? All of us on the pitch with him and stuff. But obviously, I played a lot with Mike Lamb. He was he controlled the game as well. So yeah, but I've gone for my dad there. Number 10, I've gone for Andy Mack. First time I've seen Andy. I think we were training one night and someone said, "Oh, there's a few lads from Holton coming down." So we've got a few. It was like Carl Shingler, Andy Mack, and someone else. I can't remember who else it was.
I think it was. Was it John Parker?
Oh, it could have been.
Parker.
Yeah, could have been Parker. Yeah. And I don't know if that's when Leddy first come down. Actually,
it might have been.
Might have been. And I looked at him, and he had these wrist straps on and stuff, and I thought, "Oh, there must be a new second row." Honestly, I thought he was a second row.
Yeah, because he's a giant.
Yeah. And he started playing, and he just had his hands were just unreal. I always called him the magician because he'd just pick a pass, and he had a little chip on him. He'd never chase it, but he'd have a chip on him, wouldn't he? Yeah. But I love playing with Andy. He set me up for probably a million tries. Number 11, I've gone for Leddy, Kev Leddy. As I say, class player, rapid, scored some tries, could kick goals. Definitely could have played a higher level. But yeah, really good player. And obviously, he's been at the Wids for years now, wasn't he? Captain for years. Yeah. He's been unreal for the Wids, really. Yes. 12, I was 50-50 on this between Phil Glover and Gaz Davies. Yeah. So I literally don't know. I couldn't decide on that one, but I'm going to go for them both. I'll sub one of them on at half time. Phil was class. He had a massive boot on him. He could pick a pass. He could step. He was never that quick, but really good to play with. And as I say, he set you up for some tries and that. And Gaz was just big, powerful, busting the line. If you support him, he'd be setting you up and stuff. So he was good to play with. 13, I've gone for Welshie, just because he was big, tall, strong, wasn't he? Good. He was class in D as well. He always shot up, didn't he, and smashed people. He loved to tell you how I remember walking the Wids one night, and he was like, "All right, Rizza," and he was like, "Hey, Lammy, tell him how good my tackle was before." So I let him come over and go, yeah, it's a good tackle, that, yeah. No, but she was good. But I played a year or two with Ziggy. Do you remember Ziggy?
Ziggy, yeah, Mark Simpson.
He was class, yeah. I love playing with him. I remember he used to set me up for some tries as well. Anyone who sets me up for tries, I love.
Yeah. I would.
Buster hard and set me up. So that's 13, yeah. 14, I've gone for our Gaz because he could play pretty much anywhere in the backs. He scored a lot of tries. He had snake hips, didn't he? He was everywhere. He got injured quite a bit, didn't he? But
he's just dead reliable, mate. I think he got he's probably underrated for that because he just done his job and done it really well.
He put 110% in, didn't he? He was he wasn't afraid to get stuck in. He had a big right boot on him when he connected with it as well. So yeah, I've gone for our Gaz there. 15, I've gone for Smigger because when I first started, I remember he first come in when he was young and he played fullback, I think, but he ended up playing a bit on the wing. I was playing a bit of fullback then, and his feet were just unreal. Do you know what I mean? It's he was only small. There was nothing on him, but he was safe as houses and he was just rapid. And you think if he breaks now, he's just going to score. He was a bit like Jason Robinson, just dead small, fast steps. Do you know what I mean? Yeah. So that's me 1 to 15 for the Wids. Go for my Sedge team. Yeah. Number 1, I've gone for Ben Black. Blackers.
Idle sensation.
Mate, he's an animal. Big South African.
He played for the Marys, for a couple
he did.
Summers.
He used to do a bit of rugby league, yeah. But I played with Blackers. I've played with him for years now, and he's just a big, massive unit. He just has to be there. Number 2, I've gone for Johnny Matthews. Played at Sedge for quite a few years. Then he signed for Glasgow Warriors in 2019, and he's doing class there now. He's broke try scoring records and stuff.
Fun, doesn't he?
So, oh man, he's an animal. I remember we battered this team years ago, Dudley Kings Winford, I think, and he broke the line in his own half, and I was supporting him against the fullback, and we had a 2-on-1, and he could have just passed it 2-on-1 running, and he just bit of a goose step rounded the fullback and just like worked his way under the sticks, and you're like, wow, do you know, like he's just rapid for like a big lad as well.
Goals Andy in it.
Ridiculous. Number 3, Beltus Nonler. I think that's how you say his second name anyway. He joined us from Rochdale a few years ago. He was quite unfit when he first come to us, but he was a big lad. Do you know what I mean? And he got injured pretty much straight away. I think he hurt his foot or his knee, so he was out for quite a while. So he spent a lot of time in the gym, and he just come back. He trimmed up loads, and he was just an animal. So hard to stop. 4, I've gone for Bob Birtwell. He's been at Sedge for years as well, vice captain. Just a massive man. Just loves it as well. Yeah, just really hard to stop. And he just smashes people in there. Yeah. Number 5, Lewis McGowan. When I first went to Sedge, he was knocking on a bit then, so he had like loads of experience. Big scouser he was. He looks like Marv off Home Alone.
Yeah, he's got the big curly hair.
Yeah, do you know what I mean?
Yeah, I've seen pictures of him. Yeah,
he was a bit of a legend then. Like, I had a good laugh with him. I think he don't know if he went to Caldy or something after that. Can't remember. Number 6, Mark Goodman. He's still at Sedge now. He loves a moan at the back, so I'll tell you. If you do something wrong in the backs, he'll give you the look, and you're like, right, I'm not doing that again. Yeah, just one of them. But he's very passionate. Yeah. 7, Will Lees, who I was on about before. Just solid, like just ridiculous. 8, I've picked 2 because I couldn't decide. I've gone for Krause or Ailsey. Krause was, I think you'll know Krause, big South African. He was captain when I first went to Sedge. Just massive and horrible. Just someone you wouldn't want to play against. Or Ailsey signed for us from Sale FC, probably 4 or 5 years ago now, I think. So he's been unreal for us for the last, obviously been part of like this season and stuff. So I've got one of them 2 anyway. Number 9, Jacob Tansey. He's quite young. I think he'd probably come to us from uni kind of thing. I don't think he's been another club, but he's been unreal for us last couple of years. He's kicking game and just controls the game for such a young lad as well. Really good to play with. 10, Stevie Collins, probably one of the best players I've ever played with. He's just such a smart player. Like his knowledge, not just in rugby, just in life in general, he's just like, really good. He set me up for loads of tries. You'd ask him for a little kick or whatever, do you know what I mean? Just like a little last like play, and he puts it on a plate for you. But really good to play with, and I've seen him score some like unreal tries, which I still remember now from probably years ago. So yeah, Stevie Collins. 11, Jamie Harrison, probably the fastest man I've played with. He's absolute rapid, and he looks like Peter Andre from that video, Mysterious Kid. He's ripped, he shreds. He's always tanned, always got his hair back and all that. He's scored some ridiculous tries. He'll never pass a 2-on-1. He'll just round the fullback because he's that quick. He's just ridiculous. 12, I've gone for Matt Riley, Matt. He's just like out and out leader, captain. His rugby knowledge is just unreal. He's played over 400 games for Sedge now, and still going strong. And when we beat Sheffield Tigers the other week, he got 4 tries, and it's just like ridiculous. He's like he's 21 again. He's just I don't know when he's going to stop. Is he? Ridiculous. But like again, he's probably one of the best players I've played with. 13, Ollie Glass. He could play 10, 12, 13, 15. He played pretty much anywhere in the backs. Really smart player. And he was only quite young when he first started playing, so he's grown loads as a player, kind of thing. You see him getting better each season. So he's been playing 13 for us the last couple of years now. 14, Reece Henderson. He joined us from Llandudno a few years back. He got a job in Manchester and stuff, so he's living around here now, but he's just a try-scoring machine. He's just ridiculous. And he can chase the box kicks and that. And chasing box kicks and catching them is pretty hard thing to do. It's easier coming onto the ball, isn't it? But watching a ball from over your shoulder coming onto it, I've seen him do it a million times, and he's on the run. And he doesn't break, he doesn't break a stride. And it's just ridiculous player, yeah. 15, I've gone for Richard Wainwright, Colin Wainers. I used to watch him playing for Sale Jets when our Matt was there back in the day. And he could play 13 or 15, but he had like snaky hips and just reliable player. But he was probably knocking on a bit when I played a few years with him when I went to Sedge. And then he stopped playing quite a few years ago now, but yeah, he was class, and it was good to be watching him playing years ago and then to actually play with him was good. So and my water boy would be Jackson Riley because he loves it. And